So, hello everybody. I'm privileged and honored to be in front of you today. I'd like to thank you all for giving me this honor. Before I start going into my uh, speech, I'd like to thank a couple of people. First, my wife Ebru and my daughter Mira. I would like to thank my partner Micah, Ezel, and Keith. Um, Again, I'll say this from my heart. The honor and the privilege that you make me feel is phenomenal, and thank you for that. So before going into the speech, I thought I'll explain it different today because, you know, you can do any business in life. Today it's crypto, tomorrow it's construction, but really it's about investing in people. And that's what it is. It's investing in people. And I thought, everybody knows how much I'm a football, well, soccer in your language, right? Freak. And I thought I'll start with soccer, football, um, and then we'll go into where we are with Miracle Cash and where we are with the current expectations that you've been waiting on, the strategy, and also the strategy around the new product, and also the strategy around our token, and the real expectation and P&L that we are waiting for in year 2025. So I'll start with a small, before the video, I need to give you the background of this video. So I started as a president of this football club, and I turn into a different animal when it comes to soccer. I climb the fences, I drop myself in the field, and I do funny things. But 2 years ago, I took this. 3 years ago, I took this team from first division, and with very few good players, we managed to get to the Premier League. And at that point, there was some problems with the federation, and I took the federation to the court. Well, what did they do? They sent us back to the first division. So we got regulated down to the first division. And then I said, well, there's no giving up on this. If they sent us back, we come back even stronger. So last year, the same team become the champions in the first division with a 28-point difference to the second. So it's an unbeatable record. And today, we started the Premier League and we started at 11th position. So we had to change the coach. Where we are today, this team is top of the league. We're the first team to start from first division as champion and sit on top of the Premier League's, as the most promising champion coming. That's how I see business. So let's watch a bit of soccer and we can carry on.
I love that. I love that.
So before going into uh, the current status, I'd like to use this board. So, you know, this project has been going on for 7 years, and 7 years ago, the picture was very different than today. So I'll start. So when we all met 2.5, 3 years ago, the actual business investment that you guys or everybody was doing was a store exchange business that was set in EU. And the delivery of that maybe took some time, but again, and we weren't regulated, by the way, but we took the time, and today we have a license to roll out in at least 27 countries in EU on this side of the business. Now, with this, we chose the route of generating bonds and sharing those bonds with the investors. Finally, this month, we managed to get to the position where we're taking the bonds registrations, and we'll be distributing those bonds before the end of the year.
All right.
So that's a big achievement. The second thing, so with this store exchange, we said, well, we want to do something else as well. Now, as we were trying to achieve these licenses, we very much changed our route as we were waiting, and we started to invest into Web3. We delivered Leveler, and we're still working on Miracle Swap. Now, some of you may ask, well, you've delivered Leveler. Now, where's the transactions? Now, it's all about the Leveler has got to the stage, and at the moment, it's on Avalanche only. In our current 60 days, our target is to add Leveler onto Solana, Leveler onto Binance, increase the number of chains Leveler is, and then add a significant liquidity in Leveler, and then start pushing it. But the good thing is that all the tests and the results of Leveler is being done, and it's a fantastic product. So we've built it. Then so Miracle Pay. Miracle Pay consists of a card, an electronic terminal. Sorry about my writing. And a virtual POS. The card, the debit card, the Miracle debit card, crypto debit card, we have delivered. Currently, we are also in the process of delivering a new additional debit card and a crypto credit card as well. That process has started. Okay, so you'll be hearing.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sorry.
Because that's kind of like why I'm here. I realize there's some people that might not understand what Hakan just said, and I didn't in the beginning. When he says virtual POS, POS is point of sale terminal.
Okay.
And virtual means it's online, that people can.
The online terminal. It's same product. One's online and one's hardware.
So we call it Miracle Pay online.
Yeah. I think going back to people through these years with, people come, people go, and we've built such a significant management team throughout Europe. A lot of our management teams, our attorneys, our sales, our marketing, they're all mainly based in Istanbul, but we also have great guys in Europe, especially in Holland and Germany. And these guys have been working very hard this year. And we, today, have signed 3 major companies: Ingenico, Verifone.
He said it.
And Pax. We have currently, as a company, signed 3 major players globally, which gives us an opportunity and a coverage of 100 million plus merchants. There is no company out there that has those contracts in the back. We currently have completed our integration with Ingenico, and in the next 2 weeks, Verifone and Pax integrations will be completed because we're currently in their back office working on it. So ready to roll, starting from the 1st of January into millions of merchants. That's where Miracle Pay is.
So to give you size and scope, if anybody hasn't done it yet, when you buy something here, take a look at the terminal you're swiping. It's an Ingenico terminal.
Or a Verifone, or a Pax.
But in this hotel, that's what it is.
So bear in mind, one topic that we've been working on was the vested Phoenix contracts. What is a smart contract? Out there, I've seen 100 different products that are called smart contracts, and they're not really a smart contract. A smart contract is a deed that actually has its rules written into it, and once it's issued, you cannot tell it what to do. It lives what you have written into that piece of software. That's what a real smart contract is. So the vested contract, where we built into categories, 4 different categories, and people have been waiting on receiving them, was actually us working and making a real smart contract and bringing it on the chain. That was complete weeks ago, over 2 months ago. We currently gave a new link for everybody to join, give their wallet so we can deliver. That's where we are. We're waiting for the wallets to deliver the vesting contracts, and that site will go online, I think by the end of this week, if not at the beginning of the week. And the bonds is already live. We're currently collecting the data that issue the bonds. Now, with all this, we said, well, the future is real world asset-backed token. That's what I see it, where I see it. So we went and we signed a deal for a project, a 5-star hotel and world's first crypto casino called Hera Phoenix, and that construction has started. And I know a couple of investors that are here that actually visited the site when they visited us in Cyprus. So we built that as well. And all of this consolidated gives us something that nobody has. There is no crypto company out there in the world that has this setup that pushes everything into a token called Phoenix. Now, where are we with Phoenix? If you recall, we started with 111 billion tokens. Then we did a super consolidation, and we brought the Phoenix down to 5.5 billion tokens. Currently, the token is at 4 cents or 3.5 cents, whatever. Why? For 2 reasons: locking and liquidity. So the reason it took us some time to lock is because with all this that we've built, okay, we have designed a product called Miracle Pay Node.
Wow.
Which this node, I believe, is the most exciting node that's out there. It's actually a CPU, and it's powering, the node is powering the transactions of Miracle Pay. So any transaction that's going here is actually powered by the CPU that sits here. And every transaction that's going through electronic transactions that's going through the hotel is also powered from the CPU. We have generated 210,000 CPUs, i.e. nodes. And that's what we're going to be rolling out in year 2025. And these nodes are receiving Phoenix as a share of these businesses because they have supported, powered the processing of those transactions. Therefore, there is a forecast of how many Phoenix are going to go out because there's variables, right? Because as the price increases of Phoenix, then the number of daily Phoenix issued out will drop. We're built, which will go into a system, a sales system that will also pay in Phoenix. So there's a need of Phoenix there. It took us weeks to calculate the exact need of Phoenix so we can lock the rest. We completed that calculation last week. We have, on our side, we have locked the coin. We're currently waiting in the next 2 to 3 days, maximum 5 days, the coin will be locked on the exchange as well, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. You'll see it locked. And at that point, we have a live token, a token with a smart contract, with a white paper that rules the token, saying, guys, you can't touch this token. Well, for us, we're telling ourselves, you can't touch this token for the next 3 years. If you want to unlock, you need to perform. We have given the power to the token. Our success, our performance will enable us to unlock Phoenix from that moment. The liquidity side, which is the second side I mentioned, well, we talked about the nodes, the 210,000. Out of this 210,000 nodes, in the white paper of that node and in the smart contract of that node, a node is $1,100, right? Be it commission or additional liquidity. From every $1,100, $520 goes into Phoenix. We have a forecast, and this is a very and this is based on assuming that everybody that sells a node will 95% cash out their Phoenix. It assumes that we have around 80 million tokens out there distributed at the moment. It assumes that we will receive at least 15% of those every month. So that's how much of sales we expect on the coin. Even with that forecast, where this brings us to is that we will see Phoenix in the next 6 to 7 months with this at $17 plus.
$17. Sorry. $17.
So
17.
17 plus. So where we are at the moment is it's all built. You know what I dreamed of? I've actually built more than I dreamed because I didn't know a lot of it that I was going to build with this team, this great team. Like you said, Philip, you don't know what's coming tomorrow. And seriously, you don't know. And some of those opportunities you take, and some of those opportunities you don't take. And that's your call, depending on which color you are, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's
So-
right.
So I'll go with a rainbow. So yeah, what we've built is ready to explode. What we've built Now, Micah said to me, I said, this system that you're talking about is fantastic. And this Bellator system that we built, I think we got it up and running in 2.5 weeks.
Unbelievable.
Kathy would know exactly in 2.5 weeks. And I think that's insane. And it's only possible because all that IT infrastructure, all that people, the people that can deliver has been built through time. That's why we can start, we now start delivering. So where we are now is we've got the system, we've got a product. This node, there is no product out there that can beat this product. Go and try and find it. I've seen 95% of crypto products out there are air. They don't even exist. There's no smart contract behind them. There's no business behind them. There's no people behind them. And they all tend to dry out in 6 to 8 months. They're gone.
That's right.
7 years, another 3 years, and I'm done. So, you know, but we need warriors now, because what we've built deserves to have warriors. And now we need to go out there collectively as a team and kick the shit out of them, because we have everything. We have everything. So once again, I'd like to thank you all for having me here. It's been a pleasure. It was a long journey, but I could have 3 more journeys like this to come and see you all. You're always welcome. You have a home at Cyprus. And it's going to be great. It is great. Now it's execution time and explosion time, and we will do this together. I love you all. God bless.
Woo! And I'm about to give him the mic, because obviously there's been some questions, there's been some things. So we're gonna do. How do you guys want to do like a Q&A from me and Ed on stage? Would that be good with Hakan, and go over some of the tokenomics? And we're trying to just bring it down to where the average person, but even said, he reminded me, tokenomics isn't, sometimes very simple, but we're gonna try to simplify things. But he wants to share a few words with you all.
Awesome.
Tokenomics, simple. Okay. So a couple of things that I forgot to touch base in my earlier call presentation. So what we're building at the moment, I did mention that we've got a lot of .coms, and somebody came up to me and showed me actually a T-shirt with 20 .coms behind the T-shirt. And so what we're building at the moment, and it will be ready at June 2025, is we're bringing all the .coms under one super app. So that will even strengthen the company's growth. So at June 2025, there will be lots of products and lots of platforms, but they will all be consolidated into the super app. And I think this is something, something that you really need to take into consideration, because bringing all these businesses into one super app will really, really build our muscles and give the growth of the company. One more thing that I would like to go into, that federation that regulated us. Well, and we become champions. We went back to that federation. And people talk about credibility, and, it's very difficult obtaining licenses, but it's also very difficult of winning the tender of the live broadcast of soccer of a country. That's what we did. We went back to that federation that regulated us, and we took the license of live broadcasting exclusively for the next 10 years. So we're buddies now. So I'd like to, before going into a video of Miracle Media, I'd like to share the vision behind setting and investing into media is actually, yes, it's sports because I love sports, but it's also building the infrastructure of Miracle Crypto TV. So Miracle Crypto TV will go live at the end of first Q 2025. And it's mainly, it will be extreme sport and crypto blended channel. And the aim there will be to educate people on crypto, build that stick to the brand loyalty, and allow people to grow with our products and our education out there in the market. And I think that will be a very big value to our customers. So I'll leave you to watch our quality, what we're doing at Sports at Miracle Media. Thank you.
Right.
Hem buradan ana vatana hem de buradan Kıbrıs'tan bütün dünyaya sesleniyoruz. Bizde kalmayı, bizi izlemeyi, bizlerle zamanı geçirmeyi sürdürün diyoruz. Çok güzel pas. Bırak akmadı. Ceza sahası. Gol pozisyonu. Topu kontrol etti. Döndü. Alsever aldı. Baktı. Vurdu. Attı. 2-0 yaptı. Alsever attı. Alsever kontrol giriş bakış vuruş ve gol ve gol ve gol. Parçalan Çağrı. Bir noktada Röveşata! Çok bir gol. Harika bir gol. Yaklaşık atacağınız bir gol. Kim attı da attı. Gerçekten gibi attı. Bildikler gibi attı. Muhammed Salah gibi attı. Ama Berhan attı.
Burada hadi ceza sahası içerisinde. Hadi vuruşu ve gol. Beraberlik golü geldi. Hadi gel. Bir gol Değirmenlik'te Hakan Hasan. Hüseyin'in kafa vuruşu ve mükemmel bir gol. Henüz karşılaşmada 3. dakika.
So as you can tell, Hakan is passionate about soccer, football.
Football.
Okay. Well, we call it football.
Well,
So-
we're going to get into it as far as like, I know we've been getting a lot of questions from the field, from you guys here, and we're going to try to simplify things. I know tokenomics isn't really simple, but you know, at this point, I know what people want to understand. How do we get to these certain numbers? How do we go global? How do we dominate? How do we do all that stuff?
You know, Ray, what I'd love to do, because not everybody has been in the company 2.5, 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So when I first got started, I saw a YouTube video, and it was Hakan and Micah, and they were in a park type setting, and there was you could see the Mediterranean behind them. Later on, I found out it was Hakan's backyard. You know? And that conversation, you know, one of the things that I do to learn, I'm not the fastest learner, but I know that if I hammer it in, I get it, is I just watched that every day I worked out. Probably got 10 days in a row. I wanted to understand what Hakan was saying, because I've heard Hakan say things that I didn't understand. Like, I remember one time you said KPI, and I'm going, what's a KPI? Then I had to look it up. Oh, key performance indicator. I didn't know. When you said POS, I'm going, what are they talking about? A POS? You know?
What's CPU?
Well,
So,
CPU is the central processing unit, so
yeah,
it's
central processing unit.
Everyone should know that.
Yeah. So little stuff like that. I just want to kind of pick your brain a little bit, because I know a bit of the story. But I know you were a relatively young man, and you went to England, and you said you talked about these ATMs and that experience. I'd love for you to tell that story about, you know, about
full
how
story?
yeah, you said you went to London. You were a lawyer. You went there to practice
well,
law.
I graduated law. I was telling Philip today. So I said I'll go and practice law in the UK, and I didn't have the money to buy an air ticket, so that was on loan, and I had 70 pound in my pocket, and I flew to the UK, and it was at that stage I just walked into a supermarket, and there was this guy, and he was trying to sell something to the shopkeeper. So, and the shopkeeper was Turkish, and he couldn't speak English, so he said, "Hakan, can you do?" And he was my landlord, by the way.
Oh.
So he said, "Can you help?" I said, "Yeah, I'll help." Well, not my landlord. I actually was staying at a friend's house. It was his landlord.
So you became the translator for this.
I became the translator, and this guy is saying is, "I'm going to bring this ATM here," and the ATM was £14,000 each. Okay, so bear in mind, I'll match that with what we're talking about with Ingenico and Pax and Verifone. Well, those terminals are already there. So these ATMs, going back to the ATMs, they were £14,000 each, and we start. I thought, well, this machine is excellent. So he said, "You want to sell?" I said, "Well, what's the salary?" He said, "There's no salary." "Oh, what's the commission?" He said, £400.
Nice.
I said, £400. I can sell a lot of those. And I think I did, well, not I think, I know I did 57 ATMs in my first week. And at the end of 6 months, I was the sales director of that company.
Yeah.
And, we installed 57,000 ATMs throughout the UK at £14,000 each.
Wow.
So our target is to roll out 150 to 200,000 terminals that are already sitting there. They don't need to pay anything to us. They just need to activate us.
Yes,
One question that comes to me, which is music to my ears, is, well, there's other companies out there that are doing business with Ingenico. I said, well, that's great, because why would they prefer us, right? That's the question.
That's the question.
Why would they prefer us? They allow crypto payment, and we allow crypto payment. Well, the whole proposition, the whole package that we can give to the merchants doesn't exist out there. We're the first company and the only company that does cash transactions at stores in EU. Every single Ingenico merchant, we can make our franchise. We can say to them, activate our terminal. And as you activate our terminal, we'll also allow you to start taking cash transactions at your stores and turn you into a Miracle franchise. And guess what? It's 7%, and you can keep 4% of that, and you can grow your P&L. There's no company out there. So let them spread the word. Let them create that market awareness, and we will take all that business or majority of that business that's out there.
So
You understand that? That was huge.
So their customers are coming in, and now they realize they could buy merchandise using crypto. But on top of that, the
They
company
can buy crypto.
they could buy crypto. They could buy and sell crypto, right? Because of the franchising model.
And because of our license. So that's what.
So what store would say no to that? I mean, it's just extra revenue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If we know how to sell 57,000 ATMs, we can distribute 150 to 200,000 POS terminals that are already sitting there in those premises.
Just need to be turned on.
Just turned on.
I got a question. You know, when you think about the contract we got from Ingenico and how big they are, I mean, you know, dollar store, Walmart, look at the pad. When you swipe your card, it says Ingenico. Why would they partner with us? Why would they?
Why would they not?
Yeah.
Well, do you tell me why would they not?
No,
So
I,
I'd love to interject here.
What is the
about it.
question?
Because, you know, we worked on this together, you know, a couple of years ago regarding Miracle Pay.
Yeah.
And there was a study done by Deloitte. And Deloitte surveyed over 2,000 retail executives. And it was a very detailed study about cryptocurrency, all different types of metrics. But the bottom line was over 70% of them said they expect to be accepting cryptocurrency within the next 2 years. The missing equation was the technology, and we got it. You built it already.
Yeah, but
It's been done for years.
I mean, going back to that question, it's not about why do they do it or why have they done it. It's done. So
Yeah.
the question is, how do we now grow that contract? And that's what we know to do. So that's how I see it. And as I said, the proposition and the package that we have is by far ahead than any other company out there.
That's the exciting thing about it. Like when you think about computers, when they first got going, it was Microsoft, right? That was the big dog, and they gained major market share. No different when you look at, you know, search engines. They used to be Yahoo, but now Google is a verb. Everybody uses it. They know that's how you search for things.
Yes.
I believe Miracle Pay is going to be that type of technology.
And as I said, there's over 100 million merchants out there. To get to our target, that with our current target, it's 200,000 per annum. So 3 years, 600,000. Best proposition, 100 million. Seems achievable.
So how did we get there from you being this incredible sales leader, putting out ATMs all throughout?
We were there, right? So then, you know, the market was saturated in the UK. So I said, well, I'll go and become the first independent ATM deployer of Turkey. And I didn't go with £70 to Turkey. I had more than, yeah,
and more.
I had more than £500,000 in my pocket.
Nice.
And well, nice, but I went round, you know, and getting that sponsor bank took me 2 years. And I really was at the last bit of that cash. It was burnt, and carry on. And then I actually partners with the, at that day, the owner of Finance Bank, which is the richest guy of Turkey. We had a 10-minute meeting and we become partners, and we installed the first independent ATM of Turkey. Now, ATM, POS, same principle, same way of thinking. Crypto was the missing piece, because, you know, and we'll go into other products as well in a minute. So having the ATM, having the POS, having the virtual POS that you explained, hardware versus software, all of that you have on one side, but to enable it to be a global financial company or a fintech company or an actually digital bank, crypto was the magical source that was needed to turn this all into a digital bank. That's when I realized it, and I said, well, if I can build all this delivery channels, get the contracts, and wrap it around a token, you're actually building the future digital bank.
Wow.
And one of the questions that I think you started off with, well, tokenomics, and how does it really work and add to that? If you look at the coins out there, thousands of coins, we never intended to build a meme coin. Meme coin. You know, you can build a meme coin, you can spend $400,000-$500,000, pump it up to $5, really bring a couple of big investors in, and then you crash again.
That could happen in a weekend.
It's very easy. If that's what you want to build, it's very easy. But if you're in to build a business token, because that's, I mean, they call it real world asset token, some call it utility token, but what we've built is very different. There's real world there, there's CPU. I call it a business token because that's what it is. It's a reflection of our performance. And if you're bringing in business and liquidity, for every $10 of liquidity that you bring into a token, you're actually bringing also $2 into that token from token investors. Okay, so that's how it's collected. So 20% to bring in new, fresh investment. When I said we will get to $17, nobody asked me about at that point what our liquidity was.
Right.
We will get to $17 after this lock-in and that $520 I mentioned, with a liquidity setting at $22 million cash USDT in our liquidity. That's where this is going.
So at that point in time, and we have that 22 million in liquidity, how do you see the crypto world reacting to what we're doing? Because I think our story is by far the most incredible.
Well, one thing, if at that point, for us to carry on growing, we as a company, not touching the vested tokens at all, and I'll underline that, because they're vested, is game over. I did explain the smart contract. We would, as a company, need to burn an additional 1 billion tokens to carry on growth, and we will do that.
So I want to interject something here that Ray and I talked about, because as the vesting schedule came out and we're in the process of completing it, one of the things that I was real happy, and I think there's other people here that I represent, you guys decided that depending on your age, the vesting terms would be different. And so for people over 60, which my wife and I are, it's a 5 to 10 year possibility. I'm like, great, we're going to get steady stream of if we want to liquidate, we can. If we just want to continue to let it grow, we will.
And the way it's vested, I think at that level of prices, even with the vested program as it is, everybody has a consistent, significant income, obviously, if they want to sell.
Right. Yeah, that's exciting. That's really exciting. So where are we going from here? Are we getting like
when we go public, like on the NASDAQ? Well, what does all this turn into?
Let me answer the question, Jude, because I think they both end up in the same at the same door, but they're two different questions for me. So I believe, and I'm sure with the new system that I mentioned in my presentation, that we will sell out with Miracle Pay nodes in the next 12 months. If not 12 months, like you said, 14 months, but we will sell out. At that point, We will need to carry on growth because we cannot stop. This is all leading to the final piece for me of this digital future banking is miracle with installments. And there is no company out there built to credit score consumer and take the risk and allow the consumer to buy with and pay back in installments with a certain APR. Now that APR pool is something huge, and with all the profits the investors and the company is doing, I see once we sell out, we will have an additional pool of miracle installment liquidity, let's say 500,000 nodes, and bringing in globally a massive liquidity that's constantly resold in APR into the crypto world. That's where I see this leading.
So the APR, just because I'm a person of acronyms, I like to, not everybody is in
Interest.
that world. Yeah.
It's interest.
Annual percentage rate,
Yeah.
APR. You go to a bank and they give you peanuts. You might
Yeah,
get a penny.
so the people providing liquidity into that pool will be making more than 10% per annum. But you do that when you get to the stage that you've got all those CPU nodes out there, the transactions are flowing, because at the same time you want to give the comfort to the liquidity providers. So we're in talks at the moment with Lloyd's that maybe this is not definite, it's not a done deal, but we're talking of becoming the first liquidity, insured liquidity pool by Lloyd's. Wow. So that's what we're discussing at the moment, but it's not a done deal. So going back to your question of capitalization, so the capitalization we have not included Phoenix, a Miracle Pay node, and Phoenix Hera not included. We have a valuation of $3.5 billion from Rodel, as you know. We're using 500 million of that for capitalization and not using that whole DCF because we want to have allow the OTC investors to buy that gap of growth, if that makes sense.
So OTC over the counter, that's the NASDAQ
yes.
component. Yep.
So this month is to complete the bonds, and then as soon as we've completed the process with the bonds, by the end of January, we'll complete the capitalization.
Wow.
So it's been, if you look back, you know, the last 3 months, we've been delivering so much. And a lot of our products have been going live or about to go live. And that's where the company has got to. There's constant delivery from now on, because that maturity, we've reached that maturity. And any new product that we want to deliver, it will be much faster than before because the structure is built. That makes sense.
So one of the things that really attracted me to you from the outset is being not only a sports enthusiast and playing in sport, but the mindset. Like Mita was going over yesterday, it's your mindset. And you were so definitive with your knowledge. You had the knowledge, but what I loved was your stern, no nonsense approach. Because at the time we were talking about the possibility of building one of the top 3 exchanges in the world. Mm-hmm. And you said maybe not one, Binance #1, but we'll be in the top 3. You said emphatically, we will be in the top 3.
Well, that's why we're connecting all the companies into this super app. That's the whole strategy behind there. And we're different. Our approach is different. We can't go now and become a Binance. We can't go now and become a crypto.com, but we can be something very different in the crypto world that's unique, and we can be the biggest. And that's where we're heading with our payment gateway, with our liquidity pools. This is something that we're putting our energy into, which is very different than what they're doing. Although we're all in the same, blockchain crypto world.
Yeah. And that's what I see as we develop these different verticals, these different delivery channels. When I say, what does the future have? I know this stuff that's going to come that we're not even thinking about right now. But
There's a lot that we don't know.
yeah,
What it's having the engine. If you have the engine built, opportunities will come, and you'll prioritize, and you'll say, well, I'll go for that one because that's going to be faster and more beneficial to the company. We don't know. We've got enough on our plate at the moment, and I think with Bellator and the Miracle Pay node and the capitalization and the super app with and Phoenix Hera, we've got enough for the next coming year. So
I still have
You
a
know,
couple of more questions.
we'll be busy.
So,
We'll
do
be
you
busy.
see why a lot of us refer him as a genius? Can you see why we refer to him as a genius?
How he's connected all those dots. And I mean, thank you. Thank you for now I see what you're saying. I have 3 years left and I'm done. You're tired. Yeah.
it's not about tired. It's about, it's like graduation, every person and every business and every role you have has maturity, and you need to, I believe, you need to get out at your own maturity and maximize, and then you need to exit at the right time. That's what I believe, and the whole, even day one, the whole business model is exit oriented. It has always been exit oriented, and where we are today, working harder than ever. I think 3 years is very reasonable for an optimum exit.
That's another thing that attracted me to you. When Ray first told me you had an exit strategy, and at that time we were talking about a 4-year exit strategy, I love the concept of that. Based on my age, and I told Ray, I said, Ray, I got some game
You
left
keep
in me.
on basing on your age, but you actually look good. So,
Thank you. And I feel good. Praise the Lord. But I said, yeah, man, I could run real hard for 4 years. No doubt about it. Let's go do this thing, and it will
so you're good for another 3 years.
definitely.
Okay.
I think about this, that we exit, all of us exit. We're part of it.
Well, that's a decision that each individual will need to take. I mean, companies exit, and then shareholders stay. They exit. It's a decision that each individual will take when the time comes. But as a company, that's our strategy.
I love it. Love it.
I think we should end on that.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think we got enough for everybody to really see who Hakan Törehan is, and that we are really blessed and fortunate to have this relationship with
Thank you. It's my pleasure, and I said at the beginning, I'm honored, and I've been honored from the day we've started its journey together, and it will only grow. So once again, I'll thank you again.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Everybody, a huge round of applause for Mr. Hakan Törehan. Thank you. Why don't you stay right here? One round.